Diddy parties. Um, those are his parties, and I was one of the kids that was one of the party favors. And a party favors means that you're set on top of a table and you're used as a toy for anybody who comes across the table or who wants to party at a certain time of night when the music stops and then the DJ starts flashing all these lights and they
In this industry, what you must understand is when you do sell your soul, you are allowed to live forever. And these people that are called youngins, rookies, new booties, I would no idea that these people still live.
Ron Jeremy, Denzel Washington, Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres, Whoopi Goldberg, Lady Gaga, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Joan Rivers, Rob Saget. Do you want me to keep going?
I mean, yo, Diddy, you gave me the oosh-gosh goosh-wash. You get the shoosh-mash.
What?
Diddy.
What Diddy did just got even wilder. Orlando Brown and Allie Carter are now spilling the tea, claiming they were taken advantage of by creepy older men and even weird ritual-type stuff going down at Hollywood parties. If you've heard anything about those wild Hollywood scenes, especially Diddy's so-called freak-offs, then you already know they're legendary for all the wrong reasons. But what nobody saw coming was talk of animals and bizarre spiritual rituals being part of the madness. Orlando and Allie say they didn't just hear about it, they lived it. They're saying they were trapped in that dark Hollywood world, surrounded by disturbing people and strange acts. This story isn't just messy, it's straight up unbelievable. Both Orlando and Allie have been labeled crazy online, but after hearing what they've been through, you start to wonder who's really telling the truth. The two of them share one big connection, those out-of-control Hollywood parties that seem to swallow people whole. And the worst part, they were both pulled into that chaos before they were even old enough to understand what was really happening. Their lives haven't been the same since. Orlando Brown was once that guy, one of Hollywood's brightest young stars in the 2000s. Everyone in the industry swore he was going to be the next big name lighting up the screen. But the moment That's So Raven wrapped up, everything started crashing down. It's like when the show ended, his whole world flipped upside down. Not long after, things got dark. He got arrested in Houston for possession, and that was just the beginning of a long, messy chain of run-ins with the law. By 2011, it was Deja Vu, another arrest, and this time he ended up spending 27 days behind bars for not proving he'd completed a 180-day alcohol education program. The pattern was spiraling fast and everyone could see it. Then came the breaking point. A disturbing audio clip surfaced where Orlando could be heard threatening a woman and a whole family. That leak shook the internet to its core. If anyone still had hope that he was just going through a rough patch, this was the moment people started saying, yeah, Orlando's not okay. He even went as far as threatening people's families, saying things like, your daughter and everybody. It was chilling. After that, Orlando checked into rehab in 2016, trying to get his life back together. But sadly, the demons kept calling. By 2018, he was arrested again for narcotics possession. At first, everyone thought it was just another case of a celebrity losing control after getting hooked on heavy stuff. But that wasn't the whole picture at all.
That will make you buckle, bro. They make you buckle, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, cause man, people done lost their families, bro. People done lost their kids and shit. Diddy, you gave me the oosh-gosh goosh-wash. You gave me the oosh-gosh muaf, the shoosh-mash. Diddy. Yeah, son. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You gave me the oosh-gosh muash. I love it, yo. I love it. You gave me the oosh-gosh muash.
And
oosh-gosh muash. You know what I'm talking about, Diddy?
And people, adults, the moms, the dads, right there on Target commercials, right there on Walmart commercials. And you're looking at the people that are missing and they're smiling like they're happy, but they're going back to hell. I just think that, people just need to realize what they're looking at when they're watching the television. Everything is right in front of you. The revolution was televised and don't nobody get.
Things took a darker twist when Orlando spoke out in an interview, dropping shocking claims that Diddy allegedly forced him into uncomfortable situations right after That's So Raven. The revelation shook everyone. Nobody saw that coming. It wasn't just about substance abuse anymore. It was about something way deeper and way darker. You'd think after dropping such a huge bomb, Orlando would step back, but no, he doubled down. He went online and made wild new claims, saying he had been with Usher, Diddy, Drake, Bow Wow, and even Busta. The internet went crazy. People didn't know what to believe, but one thing was clear, he wasn't afraid to name names. But Orlando's not the only one with a nightmare story. Allie Carter's been speaking out for years about her own haunting experience. She says she was taken when she was just 15 and kept in a hidden bunker where she and others were allegedly trapped in terrifying ritual scenes, locked in metal chains while strange Illuminati-style acts were happening all around them. It's disturbing beyond words. Before Allie could spill every dark detail about what really happened to her, everything took a terrifying turn. She claimed her life was threatened, right when she was supposed to testify as a witness in Diddy's upcoming trial. Sources say Diddy's team allegedly made sure she never got the chance to take that stand. Just one day before she was set to appear in court, Allie suddenly vanished. She had already mentioned being followed by strange people who seemed to be watching her every move. Not long before her disappearance, she even posted a shaky video online showing that her house had been broken into. It was pure chaos. That's when the police supposedly decided it was too risky and placed her into witness protection for her own safety. But here's the thing, Allie wasn't shocked that the authorities didn't seem to take her seriously. Everyone whispers that powerful people in the entertainment world have deep ties with law enforcement, so she didn't expect much from them. What really broke her was how regular people, fans, followers, and everyday folks turned on her too. Instead of believing her, they laughed, dragged her name online, and called her crazy when all she was trying to do was expose what she claimed was the dark, hidden side of the industry. Nobody ever really stops to think about the victims. Nobody. When scandals break out, all eyes go straight to the celebrities and their reputations, but the people who actually suffered get pushed aside. It was just their trauma gets dragged back into the spotlight, their pain gets turned into gossip, and meanwhile, the ones accused get nothing more than a slap on the wrist. It's like the victims' voices never matter. And what's worse, there are still people out there dealing with this same kind of nightmare right now. Some are hiding, deleting their social media, and trying to stay safe, while others keep running from the same powerful names that once controlled them. But Allie refused to stay silent. She fought back. She took control of her own story by filing a sworn affidavit, putting her claims on record, and exposing shocking, intimate details of what she says she lived through. And she didn't hold back. In that affidavit, she named Birdman, Denzel Washington, and Young Jock as alleged participants in these twisted Hollywood scenes. The details she described were beyond disturbing. According to her affidavit, people were literally set on a table and had to wait for others to come choose them for intimate acts. Once one round was over, they were reportedly placed back on the party favor table so someone else could pick them again. It was a chilling cycle of control and exploitation. She says she was forced to be with multiple people.
Surrounded by disturbing behavior and bizarre fetishes, each happening in separate areas of the same mansion. It's the kind of story that leaves you speechless.
You smashed him when it was a girl?
I didn't smash anything.
So how you know
we
that?
made love. We made love. That's
Who you
why-
made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you seen Busta in the airport too. That one from China act like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake?
No, I never smashed.
Oh, you made love to Drake.
And Cat Williams. What's his name?
Bro, you smashing a lot of people.
What's that name? Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Usher. Usher's a gusher. And
Why you not naming no?
I'm telling you, bro, it's my dad's friends. My dad sicked his baddest friends on me.
Who's your dad?
Lucifer.
Allie went on to describe scenes that were so shocking they barely sound real. She said they were different rooms set up for different fetishes, one involving red fluid in one area and another even darker one that involved disturbing acts with animals. She said she was forced to sit on what they called the party favor table, waiting to be chosen just like someone picking a gift bag at a birthday party. It was sickening. Then she said she was ordered to lie on the table next to another girl around her age, and what happened next was beyond disturbing. According to her, animals were brought in, and people in the room just stood there watching everything like it was some kind of show.
Year-olds that people take pride in sticking bars of children. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people tie 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old children to horse stables and have horses and dogs with them, and then they get off on that. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people hang children upside down in satanic ritual meetings, and they literally hang them. Literally, by metal prongs, they hang them to get dripping out of them, and people go up under and like you're under a rainfall.
Allie made it clear that what she included in her affidavit wasn't even everything. She said there were still details too dark to put in writing. She even attached a photo of herself from her time in that bunker, and you can see it all over her face. She looked terrified and completely drained. Her mouth looked like it had been restrained, and her eyes told the whole story. This was someone who had been through real trauma. And remember when she said she was placed in witness protection? Well, according to Allie, that came with strings attached. Prosecutors allegedly told her to keep her testimony focused only on Diddy and not to bring up the underage victim she said she saw being mistreated. But once they realized she wasn't just trying to expose one man, she was aiming to call out everyone involved in the industry. That's when she said things really started to get dangerous for her. Allie claims she was completely blocked from testifying, just cut off before she could even take the stand. She said the reason was simple but twisted. They only wanted to humiliate Diddy, not expose everyone else who might have been involved. According to her, her testimony was going to open a massive can of worms that would have dragged in names way bigger than Diddy, politicians, business moguls, and other top celebrities. And that's exactly why they didn't let her speak. The higher-ups supposedly wanted to keep the spotlight locked on Diddy, while the real power players stayed safely in the shadows. Of course, once this came out, the internet exploded with reactions. One person commented, "This country needs a serious reset. The justice system won't even mention the children because they're in on it all. Save our children, please, Lord." Another user added, "You can tell Orlando was abused by Diddy. That laughter is really pain." These reactions show that people are starting to see there's something way bigger happening behind the scenes, and they're not buying the silence anymore. After Allie's disappearance and Orlando's chaotic confessions, the whole situation started spiraling into something even darker. People online began connecting dots, claiming that both of them were part of a much bigger cover-up, involving not just Hollywood insiders, but powerful figures from politics, music, and business. And just when the internet thought it couldn't get any messier, more supposed witnesses started popping up with stories that sounded too similar to be coincidence. Rumors started flying that secret recordings and hidden tapes existed, footage from those wild Hollywood parties where things supposedly went way beyond just music and dancing.
You get pressured, attacked, stalked, and hunted down for your own information. You get abused and re-victimized again by people who wanted to argue a back and forth this week like that fucking mattered. Okay, you had Stu Peters and Timothy Charles Homestead going back and forth, and nobody has even bothered. Not that I give a damn, and not that I understand that you guys are gonna be that selfish, but nobody has bothered to apologize for all the hell that has happened. But you guys were arguing back and forth, and in that meantime, we lost our home. You don't believe me? Here you go. What once was a full house, we were still paying rent on our house. What we were doing this whole time was moving everything because our house is gone. Our house is gone. This is the speaking out. What was our beautiful 3-bedroom acre home on 21225 Standing Rock Avenue, because everybody has the address, because organizations that were attached to Marx, Sawyer, and many other organizations decided to put out the address, my license plate to one of my cars, and many other of my So here you go. You can have it, right? Because this is what happens when you speak out. This is what happens when you tell all the truth. This is what happens when you decided to stand up for the children, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to do a seminar, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to just be and then show up somewhere and talk and monetize every thing that they're saying. When you realize that that's bullshit, then you will understand. Look at the tactics and pay attention. Pay attention. I'm still not asking you for a damn thing but to wake up. I'm not asking you for a damn thing but just to get outside. I don't give a damn about money, numbers on my platforms. You can have all of it. You took everything. The only thing that I give a shit about right now is the fact that there is a baby in the way. There's babies in the way. There are people that I love that I can't get out of the way. What am I supposed to do when the people in the authority that you're supposed to go to, you can't go to them?
People were saying that certain A-listers are now panicking, wiping their social media, firing staff, and even leaving the country to avoid getting caught in the storm. The whole industry was shaking, and the fear was real. At the same time, fans started demanding justice, not just for Ali and Orlando, but for everyone who claimed they were silenced. Hashtags started trending, documentaries were rumored to be in production, and journalists began digging for receipts. But insiders warned that going too deep could be dangerous, because some of these stories pointed to people who had the kind of power that could make entire files disappear overnight. And here's the wild part. People began saying that this wasn't even the beginning, that what we're seeing now is only the surface of a much darker web that's been hidden for decades. The deeper people look, the scarier it gets, and everyone's wondering, if Ali and Orlando's stories are true, then how many more voices were buried before anyone even had the courage to speak up? Now the streets are buzzing louder than ever, and it feels like something big is about to break. Whispers are saying the FBI might reopen a few old Hollywood cases because too many new coincidences are lining up. Reporters are digging up old photos, interviews, and court papers, every little clue that could connect the dots. Even people who once defended Diddy are starting to stay quiet, like they know more than they're willing to admit.
Online, fans are split. Some think Ali and Orlando are just speaking their truth, while others say it's too wild to believe. But when you listen to their stories side by side, the similarities are hard to ignore. The same kinds of parties, the same secret spots, the same faces showing up again and again. It's like an entire system built to protect the powerful while everyone else pays the price. And get this, sources are now claiming that a few insiders are ready to come forward with evidence that could finally blow this whole thing wide open. We're talking recordings, messages, even flight logs linking major names to those same secret parties. If that's true, Hollywood's mask might finally crack. What's even scarier is how quiet things have gotten lately. Some people who were speaking out online suddenly deleted their accounts overnight. Others said they started receiving weird messages telling them to stop asking questions. That's when you realize this isn't just about gossip anymore. Something way bigger is being covered up, and the truth might be closer than anyone's ready for.
Ever thinks about the victims? Nobody. The victims' lives get turned around when the predators' lives want to just get announced. You slap them on the wrist and you bring up every source of trauma for the victim. But nobody wants to stop and think about that. We're not talking about the victims that are still going through this right now with other people who are running to cover their and deleting their social.
Things have now reached the boiling point. Hollywood's walls are shaking and nobody feels safe anymore. Every day, new leaks drop online, exposing connections between stars, executives, and even political names that no one ever expected to see in the same sentence. It's like a domino effect. Once one secret falls, 5 more come tumbling right after. The industry's usual silence isn't working this time, and the public's not letting go. Meanwhile, rumors say certain media outlets have been told to tone down coverage about the Diddy case and anything connected to Ali and Orlando. Insiders claim that entire interviews are getting pulled before they even air, and stories that mention the darker side of the entertainment scene keep mysteriously disappearing from websites. People are starting to ask, who's controlling the narrative, and what are they trying so hard to hide? But here's the twist that's got everyone talking. Word on the street is that one of Diddy's former associates is ready to testify, and according to leaks, this person supposedly has text messages, proof of transactions, and behind-the-scenes footage that could flip the whole investigation upside down. If this evidence gets out, it might not just take down a few names, it could expose an entire system of corruption that's been running the show for decades. And now, fans are watching every move, waiting for that one moment when the truth finally drops. The tension is thick, the fear is real, and everyone's wondering who's going to be brave enough to speak next, because once the next name comes out, there's no going back. The whole empire might just collapse right in front of us. Now it feels like the entire world is holding its breath. Every new headline adds another shocking twist, and people are realizing this isn't just some celebrity drama. It's a full-blown scandal that reaches way higher than anyone thought. The streets are talking, social media's on fire, and it's starting to look like the walls that once protected the powerful are finally cracking. Allie's name keeps trending again, with people begging for updates on where she is and if she's safe. Some say she's still in hiding under protection, while others think she's been completely silenced. Orlando, on the other hand, keeps dropping bits of information in interviews, almost like he's daring the industry to come after him. Every time he speaks, the tension gets thicker. He knows things that could ruin reputations overnight. Meanwhile, more insiders are whispering that prosecutors are facing heavy pressure not to dig too deep. Some claim that witnesses have been backing out last minute, and others have even gone missing.
And I don't know if they even got through all of those witnesses, but Maureen Comey is the prosecutor of this case, on this case in New York City. And she never asked about the children. And, you know, there's so many people who wanted me to be a witness on this trial, and I want to explain jurisdiction.
That's got everyone wondering if the truth is too dangerous to ever come out. But one thing's for sure, the public isn't backing down this time. People are demanding real answers, not rehearsed statements or quiet settlements. They want justice for every person who says they were used, silenced, or tossed aside by the same system that made these stars famous. And the question hanging in the air right now is, what happens when the truth finally hits the surface? Because when it does, it won't just shake up Hollywood, it's gonna rock the entire world. The spotlight's getting brighter, and no one's sure who's gonna make it out untouched. And now, here we are, at the edge of the storm. Everything's out in the open. Names, accusations, hidden truths, and the world's watching every single move. What started as whispers about wild parties has turned into a massive web of power, control, and silence that's finally being torn apart. Hollywood might never be the same after this, and honestly, it's about time the masks came off.
Allie and Orlando's stories shook the internet, but deep down, they represent something bigger. The truth about how fame can twist lives and how people with real power would do anything to protect their secrets. Whether you believe every detail or not, one thing is clear. The conversation can't stop now. Too many voices have been buried, too many people have been ignored, and now the world's finally starting to listen. The question left hanging in the air is, what happens next? Will justice finally be served, or will the industry find a way to clean up the mess and move on like nothing ever happened? Either way, the truth has already cracked the surface, and there's no going back. The spotlight's shining too bright, and the world's finally paying attention. So, what do you think really went down behind those Hollywood gates? Do you believe Allie and Orlando's claims, or do you think there's still more we haven't heard yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next big breakdown when the next wave of secrets drops. Trust me, this story's far from over.